Aldrich Pass, we are heading into our next game, everybody. The Enjoyers going up against Hopium incoming, and we've just been talking about shaving our armpits. Now, this might be a little bit random as we're heading into the first game, but I promise you we're going to talk about it after I introduce the match here. So, first of all, we have Hopium incoming. We have an NA team against the European team. All of these games are taking place on the NA server. We are here at HGC 2024, the Hanzo Genji Cup. And yeah, it's going to be good. The Europeans obviously playing with a ping disadvantage cross-server. And let's see if they get some points here. We have the round-robin phase with 6 teams remaining. And what we've been talking about just before we headed into the series is about... Like, I shaved today, nobody noticed. Not only did I shave and trim, I also shaved the head. And everybody looked at the camera. I was like 20 minutes on camera and nobody said a thing, nothing. So I'm just personally disappointed. Like, you people just don't pay attention to me. It's a little bit sad. I have a good hair day, nobody noticed it. Now I feel a little bit insecure, and it's a problem. And with that, we actually came to also, you should shave your armpits as well. And it is a little bit unfair, because imagine a girl not doing that. That would be an immediate no-go. That would be just like, zonk out. So yeah, immediately. So as a guy, you should actually do that too. So, yeah, just my personal opinion. You can argue about that however you want, but yeah, it's just on a personal level. So, either way, with that we get Arion now with the Sylvanas first pick. Chromie has been banned, good news for all of us. And we get Lucio plus Nubarak. So, yeah, looks like a little bit of a dive here. I mean, the Nubarak on Aldrich Pass is obviously nice because you can try and sneak the objective. We've been talking about this in the past a lot. You distract the grunts. They're a little bit simple-minded, so once they see beetles, they go like, oh, a beetle! And they run on the beetle and try to hit the beetle, and then Nubarak can just go for the channel. But... yeah, I don't know if it's really going to work that well for them here, because normally European teams are pretty on point when it comes to covering that, since they're used to that strategy from the European server. What still blows my mind, I've been talking about it, I believe in the last series, is that Aldrich Pass is just like continuously played here. It's ridiculous. And it seems like especially the American teams love to play on that map. It's a little bit bonkers. Now, with that we have Uther, we get Johanna. Uther maybe as a main and only support here, which is kind of interesting to me. Not necessarily something I would have expected. What I would love though is Uther main tank, Johanna side lane, and then later, you know, you can swap the roles a little bit when you're going into the big team fights. But for the early game, that would actually be something that you can try and pull off if you want to. Deathwing is coming in, we get Hanzo as well. And the final 2 picks here for the Enjoyers. Uther is, by the way, these like steel blue eyes. The man is going a little bit bananas. I would like to tweak Sylvana's eye color a bit though. She has this weird orange going on for her, and I think you could make her so much more terrifying if you would color that another shade of red or so. Leo! We finally get Leoric! Amazing! He's been banned so far, but just not played. So there we go. And our last pick, Juan Pablo. We have subs today for both teams. So Juan Pablo, now that One Direction is out, is subbing in today. And on the other side, we have Makto that subs in on the side of the Enjoyers. Again, down to the final 6 teams. 4 NA teams, 2 European teams. We are in the round robin. Phoenix is our final pick, and with that, we're heading into game number 1 of the best of 3 series, Aldrich Pass. Game number 1, off we go with Aldrich Pass, the first map, and on the left we have Lavakal playing Uther for the blue team, for the Europeans. We're getting at the same time, as you can tell here, Alvaros and Gul'dan. We got Arion on Sylvanas, Makto on Leoric, Itrax is playing Johanna, and then of course the American team over on the right side with Justin on Lucio. We got Fuzz on Hanzo. I hope that he secured his coffee today and we're not going to have another happy coffee incident. That would be a bummer. Mundane Zebra on Deathwing. We got Lupus on Nubarak, and Juan Pablo is playing Phoenix in game number 1. So far so good, everybody. Let's get the show on the road. Let's see who's going to win this one today. Again, the Enjoyers, they came in very, very late into the final 6, and now we're just going to figure out what exactly is going to happen as the teams are all trying to get some points for the final phase of the tournament. So it's full-on party time. Deathwing also, I let the green dragon slide. This is actually a good one. As long as you don't go for the oversized turkey chicken variation, I'm totally okay with it. So them playing here with the green dragon, going a little bit more old school, like more medieval style on the dragon, I'm totally on board with that. So yeah, not really a problem. And as it stands right now, of course, the blue team is currently trying to defend here. Deathwing pushing through the middle. And the first thing that happens is that Gul'dan uses the big model as target practice and is trying to get some stacks together for his level 1. You want to, of course, complete that as soon as you can. Bit of a push also coming through up at the top as the teams are trying to make the plays there, always in an attempt to see if they can maybe take one of the towers down early with the help of Sylvanas. Now Nubarak can do similar things, as he's oftentimes going to be trying to spawn beetles in tower range to then attack the structures directly. We've been talking about that a little trick that he can pull later in order to maybe sneak the objective in, something that we will also keep our eye on. But since we have the camps now spawning, the teams are immediately starting to rotate over towards the middle, take the camps, and yeah, play those out for now. So, not really anything too crazy just happening. We don't have an early game kill or anything of the sorts. Leo is now firmly situated up at the top and is going to go for the drain later. He's also going to, of course, start to annoy Deathwing a little bit, or at least so you would assume. But right now what we're getting is some more pressure from Hopium incoming straight up here through the middle. So they're doing their best right now, and it's down at the bottom of the map. Hanzo gets stunned and eats some damage from Sylvanas. Nothing really to threaten him too much or anything of the sort. But yeah, they got close for a moment. Talking about close, Leo gets attacked all the way up at the top. So he's the next one, and he's actually going to be the first one to fall, isn't he? Leo goes down, activates his trade, and the blue team is in the meantime trying to push the bottom of the map in order to take some of the towers down here. And this is actually happening. They are taking quite a few things out now. Able to basically destroy one of the towers. Objective is now spawning and doing some serious damage here. So yeah, not too shabby. Good moves being made by both teams in an attempt to get an early lead. And here's that little trick with the Nubarak. And nobody's covering it. Nobody... Oh, well, actually, Uther is. Alright, alright. They saw what was happening and they were covering it after all. For a second, it looked like a Nubarak might be able to sneak that in. But as I said before, Europeans have faced off against that particular trick already a lot in the past. In particular, Masquerade has been using this time and time again in European tournaments. So the Enjoyers not caught off guard here and just simply moving in saying like, alright, in that case, we're just going to start taking or interrupting that and try to push at the bottom of the map with Sylvanas. A little bit of a counterbalance move, and it works out well for them. They take the wall down. Nobody is able to go for the objective just yet, and everybody is in the meantime just trying to edge out small advantages over the opponent. But at least the Americans are now trying to grab the objective here. So they are continuously moving around that in an attempt to see if they can just maybe make a little play on this. And so far it hasn't really worked out yet. But, I mean, they seem to be getting there. They're at least sieging up on it. So they are trying. They are trying to find any kind of opening that they can use to get the first objective. And the blue team had to react to it so far. So we have them, I don't want to say abandon the bot lane, but they've started to move over. And now the channel has finally happened. So they moved in, finally started to take the channel here. And now the Enjoyers have to react. And they have to react quickly. They also want to try and get maybe a little bit of a hit in against the Nubarak here. No additional stun from Uther. The interrupt is happening now from Deathwing, and that's a little bit annoying because currently it's really tricky for the Europeans to take control of this again. There's a very nice use of Deathwing, and that gave them a lot of additional seconds on the progress bar for the prison escape. So nicely done. A very good lead and a very strong lead early on the objective for Hopium incoming, as Magdo is now moving down to the bottom of the map and is again trying to apply more pressure onto that fort, which seems to be working unless Deathwing is soon going to move down to the bottom of the map. They're going to get some value there. Bit of an attack against Sylvanas at the top, but Arian is able to move out, and the minions with a bit of extra damage against the bottom fort, which is by now kind of damaged, so you gotta be a little bit careful there. this could eventually start to become a problem for the red team, especially if the blue team is able to lock in the objective eventually. So, yeah, both teams are aiming for level 10 abilities right now in this first game. There's the stun against Lucio, and he gets away. But that was a bit close there towards the end, so Lucio has to be careful for sure. Phoenix is reigning supreme at the bottom of the map in the meantime. So he's been able to do a lot of work here already. When Pablo is working the towers down slowly, level 10 abilities are now in play, and that allows the blue team to instantly make another move for the objective. They're also looking, of course, for kills. So far, that hasn't quite worked out for them, but they will definitely try to capitalize. And now that they've started the channel again, it's looking quite likely. So I guess their chances of getting the first objective are pretty big, especially now that they're taking Gul'dan out. That means that they're also running a 4 versus 5, and the objective is indeed claimed. So we're going to get Raiders for the boys in red, as they are trying to not only walk away with the first objective, but also with the lead in experience. They have half a level at this point, 2 kills to 0. And yeah, this is starting to look pretty alright for them. All in all, if you're looking at the minimap, at this point right now, the Enjoyers are a bit ahead. They've done more structural damage, they've done pretty okay here, but this will very likely all shift now, since those Raiders will assist the red team in taking at least the walls of the 3 outer structures, maybe even some of the forts themselves. So, gotta be very careful on how they're playing this out now. Yeah. I know, BSC is becoming immediately a question, how much damage can they actually do right now? Already we got the arrow from Hanzo out. Cocoon is also being used. They're trying to break through here. Jojo's down at the bottom of the map. It's a 3-man defense at the top. Gul'dan was busy in the middle, but is now trying to assist Joanna at the bottom. And will definitely have to, because they are starting to run out. Oh, and Phoenix is running out of hit points. They're running out of hit points on the fort down here. They are barely going to be able to save it, and taking Phoenix down obviously helped too. This is a nice little move, but the trap that was set by Hopium incoming, also fairly sweet. Sylvanas gets a Divine Shield so that she has a chance of escaping, gets the cooldown back, and is able to get out. Interesting plays are now being made. The red team was faking a move towards the bottom of the map or towards the middle, and then just collapsed onto the blue team as they were pushing. But with the Divine Shield and Uther, they helped Sylvanas to escape, and Leo could simply ghost out, so there wasn't a problem for them. But the game is now all over the place a bit, and I really like it. So, yep, lots of neat little plays are currently being made by everyone in an attempt to get that advantage. We have now 2 kills to 1. Level 13 is on the board for both. Joanna's maybe a little bit alone over here. Needs to be a bit careful. Yep. And then on top of that, of course, we're having Sylvana still sitting at the bottom of the map. Phoenix is also still there and is hoping to finish what he started earlier and finally take that fort out. We're just looking at the damage numbers. We have Sylvanas now with 20,000 in top damage. Yeah, Blessed Shield. Not really too successful. The arrow, on the other hand, didn't hit either. So, yeah, arrow not too successful. Then again, the Blessed Shield also didn't connect, so both teams are trying to get quick and cheeky kills down here and weren't able to pull it off. But now with the commitment from the red team, it's likely, oh well, it would have been likely that they're getting this, but instead 2 heroes are down. Lucio and Phoenix get both obliterated, as we had a Horrify Wailing Arrow used, and then of course the Condemn from Jana. So all of them just get sucked in and then eliminated, which now allows the Enjoyers to go for the bottom fort and take the first fort of the game out, as it seems. So, yep, they are going to be able to make the first play of this game. Now, in addition to that, what we're currently getting is maybe even a push for the objective. But with Deathwing being around, it doesn't really seem like they want to waste all of that time there, because Deathwing is a little bit of a nuisance when it comes to defending the objective. You can just you just can never grab it. It's a little bit like Stukov when he drops a lurking arm on you. You're just sitting there and the AoE is interrupting every attempt that you are trying to make in order to get a bit ahead there. So it is becoming problematic. Now that we have at the top another split push from Sylvanas, they're sending a Nubarak to deal with the situation. Half a level for the Enjoyers to hit level 16, by the way. And seems like they're getting out. Nice. Leo soaks up the arrow. That one was important too. Dies for it, but again, he's obviously going to spawn on site, so that's always worth it. Now, in addition to all of this, we have level 16 coming up very quickly, which is something that they're going to try and use. Deathwing gets attacked, but they weren't able to kill him. Now, once that they're able to drop Deathwing, I would assume that they're making an immediate beeline for the prisoner camp and try to claim it. But they don't even have to. I mean, they're doing so much work here already, and so much damage is being done by the blue team. Now they're coming in, taking the fort in the middle out, and they're going for the objective. So Uther is finally starting to take care of that. Sylvanas gets killed though, so as Uther is about to maybe even get the objective for them, I don't think he's... probably not. But damn, he's getting them a big lead. So, yep, 12 seconds remaining. And at the bottom of the map, we are seeing Keep Wall already getting slowly murdered by the wave. Phoenix is now taking care of it. The boss that has been claimed by the red team gave them, of course, that top lane pressure, but at the same time it also allowed for those plays to be made by their opponents in the middle with that gap. So 16 versus 16, the Ruinous Affliction synergy is not fully there since Gul'dan has only 27 stacks on his level 1 right now. But it is a wild first game. It's a pretty interesting one. Another boss is now getting attacked down at the bottom of the map as Nubarak was trying to get a bit of progress for the team. Yeah, they're all starting to move away from this, but the boss is already claimed. That's 2 bosses in a row now by the NA team. So the Americans, when it comes to just boss control, are looking very strong. Top, their fort's still suffering a bit. They already lost 2, but they also took out the top side fort. And in this case, what we're now getting next is the attack straight at the bottom, which is going to cost the blue team another fort right here. So this one also gets destroyed. Uther is dead too. Oh, and Johanna dies as well. The Horrified in an attempt to save himself. Entomb, and it helps Gul'dan. Well, it looked for a moment like it would help Gul'dan to escape, but not so much. He gets pushed into a corner, and Alvaros is going to die here. So he goes down, and this is a lot of good news for the red team. They're taking fort after fort. They are now taking the wall at the bottom. Sylvanas with the counter pressure at the top is able to eliminate at least the top side fort. So that's the good news for them. But you just look at the experience and you can already tell that we have a 1 level advantage now for Hopium incoming. And the Americans have taken basically control of this game. They're looking better and better and better here as they're slowly inching ahead. Taking the keep down would remove the first armor shield. And I suppose Deathwing is going to take care of that. And yes, there it is. So, first armor shield on the core has therefore been removed. Good news for them. And from here on out, it's again a question about the objective. And the red team has locked in another one. But they're losing Lucio. Lucio is now gone. So now it starts to get a bit interesting because the objective has already been captured by the red team. But now they're missing their support. So this is going to make things a little bit more difficult to get full advantage out of that first... Sorry, not that first. Out of that objective that they just got themselves. So, yeah, you gotta be a bit careful with this one now. And the question is just how much damage can they do? Because right now we have 7 kills to 4. We have half a level to 20. Oh, Deathwing eating tons of damage here. But they want more than that. They're trying to go for Hanzo. Shoots down the arrow in an attempt to just slow them down. And Leo trying to escape as well. Somebody has to deal with the top lane, which is where they're currently attempting to send at least a couple of their people. But yeah, it's a wild game, but it is a clear advantage now for the red team. They are definitely putting... I mean, they're putting them into a choke point here. They're currently doing so much work, just pinning them down The core has taken some damage. Since only one armor shield has been removed previously, I don't think this is going to be too much of a problem for them just yet, but you're getting very much picked down now. And that's going to be problematic to say the least. So how can they react? They need to win a team fight. Blue team needs to win a team fight if they want to have a chance to slowly bring this back. This is essentially their only ticket back into the game. They've only lost one keep so far, so that keeps their hopes alive. Once that you lose 2 armor shields, your opponent can always make a play for core, and they are of course aware of that as well. So at this point, you gotta be careful. And yep, let's see what they can pull off here. I mean, first and foremost, with level 20 talents on both sides, is at least an even playing field. Even that was not a given the entire time, but they got the Entomb upgrade, they got with Uther, Redemption, Haunt is in. It's some really important ults and level 20 upgrades that they now have available to them. Debilitation, by the way, for Nubarak, just a bit as a side note, and Nubarak gets murdered. So, yep, Nubarak goes down. No chance for him here. He gets killed, and he's not the only one. Deathwing also dies. They want to go for Hanzo, and they drop him as well. The Europeans, ladies and gentlemen, with a quick triple kill over here, as they are starting to gain momentum, and they are pushing this towards the middle in an attempt to, I suppose, take down that keep. And with the help of Sylvanas, of course, it can very easily push for those. I don't think they're going to go for core here. That would be quite the risk. And they're trying it with only 1 armor shield removed. Damn! That is a ballsy play. I'm not sure if they can pull it off. 17 seconds for Anubarak, and you can... That's not happening. It's just... No, it isn't, is it now? They're trying. Oh, it's only half HP. It's so tricky to make that happen. If you have this... Oh, if you have 2 armor shields remaining, they're trying, and it's close. Uther's down. They're actually pulling it off, aren't they? They're winning it. What a call. And that is game. The Enjoyers with the lead. What a call at the end of game number 1.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Garden of Terror, map number 2. The Enjoyers with quite the call here at the end of game number 1, honestly. They came in and they... every single time I see a team making that call to go for core when there are still 2 armor shields remaining, I just see all of those missed attempts in the past flash in front of my eyes, and I always have a bad feeling about it. But they called it properly. It was close though, it was very close. Towards the end, Nubarak was just coming back. You drop that cocoon, you make a bit of a play there. You get the rest of your damage dealers back, and all of a sudden that defense is possible. So I gotta give it to the Enjoyers. A very nice call made on Aldrich Pass that left them with a 1-0 lead and therefore match point. We're heading into Garden of Terror now, another big map. Quick reminder that there are no draft rules here, there's no craziness happening, so we don't have a rule that heroes can only be played once, we don't have any kind of pre-bans or anything of the sorts. And immediately upon the draft starting, what happens is that the Enjoyers come in with the Sylvanas first pick. The same as we saw from them on the previous map. Lucio and Dehaka this time. So they still go for Lucio, but they combo him off with Dehaka on Garden of Terror. And I want to also highlight that once again that we now have Hopium incoming, picking 2 big maps in a row. First Aldrich and now Garden. And normally you would expect that more so from the European teams, because they are, because of that ping disadvantage, leaning oftentimes towards playing a more macro-heavy map. This is also one of the reasons why we've seen a lot of Dragonshire picked by them. But here again, Uther Johanna. Sounds familiar. I've seen this before somewhere. Where have I seen this? Sylvanas, Uther Johanna. Leoric incoming, Kappa. I think they're going to switch at least a few things up, but the backbone of the team is now currently the same. Final bans for map number 2 in this best of 3 series. And Leo gets banned. So okay, they gotta deviate away from Leo at least. So we have 3 side laners banned out. You could still go, I don't know, Urel for example. We have Hogger banned, Blaze banned, Leo banned. And are they targeting the front line, or what are they banning out now here in Garden? Hogga as a ban made, of course, perfect sense. I mean, generally speaking, Garden of Terror, you want to take down. Greymane is another choice that we could get. That's actually a pick that we could get. Thought was here was pretty simple. You normally want to ban something out that's very good at wave clearing and also camp clearing. Here now they're taking Zeratul out, who would in addition to that also have been able to go for Sylvanas, and the NA teams lean a bit more heavily towards Zeratul lately. But on the side of the Europeans, maybe even here on the red team, Greymane is still a good option if you want to go for that camp clear that I just spoke about a moment ago. And now that you have Diablo against you, if you play Greymane, for example, you have a Divine Shield Uther, so you can go Uther, Divine Shield, Greymane if you wanted to. You have the Bullet against Diablo, depending a bit on how you want to play it. You could always go for the Throat against Hanzo and Lucio. But are they making that choice, or do we get another damage dealer for them? They already have Sylvanas, so that helps them. If you want to have a mage, for example, Jaina comes to mind. She would be a good option too. Can with a quick ability rotation take those out. We get Chromie. Chromie comes in, and we have Rexa. So Rexa and Jojo plus Chromie then as your mage, and that leaves us with Fuzz as the final pick. Bit more damage is still needed also for the American team. They're obviously down in the series, so they need to win 2 in a row now if they want to have a chance there. So let's see if they can pull that off. Fuzz for the final pick. We get Maiev. Maiev in the house. Garden of Terror, ladies and gentlemen. Second map between Hopium incoming and the Enjoyers. Game on! Enjoyers against Hopium incoming, ladies and gentlemen. On the left, Arian on Sylvanas. We have Itrax on Joanna. Lavekal on Uther. Makto on Rexa. And Alvaros is playing Chromie. To the right side of the map, Hopium incoming with Justin on Lucio. We get Fuzz on Maiev, Grey Color on Hanzo, Lupus on Diablo, and the Mundane Zebra is playing De Haka. So, let's go. Come on. Pleb horses all around over here. It's actually kind of funny that everybody has a pleb horse. When everybody has a pleb horse, I mean that dinosaur doesn't count. That's an assault on the ice, as I've said multiple times in the past already. But going full pleb horse over here, it was actually not too bad. Looked good there for a moment. So, yeah. Time will tell how the teams are now going to play this with the Dragon's Breath for Chromie. So that's the first thing that we're going to get here. A little bit of an aggression in the middle. Chromie obviously also starting to take aim in the hopes of taking one of the heroes out very quickly. And get that first blood. So far that doesn't manifest itself at all. We have down at the bottom of the map Sylvanas trying to go for that split push again, as we've seen in the previous game. And obviously, since this is a pretty big map, you can make some solid plays with that. At the top, Makto on Rexa. I cannot even begin to explain to you guys how I hate this mount. It's so ugly. Oh, and Diablo gets not only killed, but even his corpse gets kicked around. So Sylvanas in this case came in swinging. She's like, I am evil personified. You got nothing on me. Let's go. Talking about anime, by the way, is anybody watching Kaiju number 8? That's a new one on Crunchyroll lately, and I suppose like released everywhere. That is damn good. Honestly, I am a little bit salty that they only release a single episode per week. That's the problem with anime sometimes. If you find a really good one, then you always have to wait a week. It's too old school. And it would be one thing, you know, if those episodes were like an hour, but they're not. They're like 24 minutes. And from those 24 minutes, you have to subtract at least 4 because that's just recap and intro. But that series is actually damn good. If you haven't started watching that yet, and you are generally into anime and you like kaiju stuff like Pacific Rim and so on, I would heavily recommend that you give it a go, because week to week I'm sitting there, I was like, I don't want to wait 7 days. So yes, Kaiju number 8, if you haven't seen it yet, guys, check it out, or at least put it on the list to watch it once it's completed. Talking about completed, Lucio got completely destroyed, so he's gone. Bye Lucio. That's the second kill now for the Europeans. Seems like they're coming in swinging over here. And Lupus! Diablo makes it. Diablo actually survives. Good on him. That was a clutch escape that he had there. I thought he would die. Instead, they are aiming now for the Haka. Not able to take him down yet, but with all of that pressure, they're nearly destroying the bottom fort. And we're only 2.5 minutes into the game. So all that pressure that we're seeing from the Europeans is really working for them right now. Mei trying to chase them with the rest of the team, but a good stun from Uther prevented that from having any dire consequences for them. But yeah, with the seeds now up, it seems like the Americans are trying to at least take control of the objective, which they are doing so far. So this one's taken, but that bottom fort would still be a really nice thing to take out if they can go there again and drop it. So we'll see if they're actually able to properly pull that off here. I mean, with that said, the attacks still coming right now. They are making moves down at the bottom of the map in an attempt to now take all of this out, go for the fort. Obviously, you have to also be a little bit careful that you're not falling too far behind when it comes to the seeds. One has only been taken, 2 kills to 0, give you a little bit of a lead. But yeah, they're going to try and make their moves here with level 7 now giving us the Guardian of Ancient Kings for Uther. So not going for his cleanse, but instead we're working around the extra armor. And at the bottom they have now taken out the fort. So the first fort is destroyed. We're 4 minutes into the game, first fort is taken out. And now always the question, how much further can you go with that? So how much more can they now do in regards to taking some structures out with the help of Sylvanas, you know, just darting in and seeing how far they can go with her. I mean, right now the next seed is up, so that's obviously the immediate concern for both of the teams. But time will tell how much they can actually do with this. For the blue team, it would be kind of important to make sure that they're at least getting the seed now. And the kill against Maiev is a very big step into exactly that direction. Because if you fall behind 0-2 in seeds, then Garden Terrors could very quickly flip the game on you. So Hopium incoming is trying to somehow get either objective control or at least win some of these team fights, but they are really starting to run out of steam. They lost Lucio and they nearly lost Diablo again. The seat has already been picked up by the Enjoyers and things are starting to get a bit concerning for the American team. I mean, they are definitely having some problems here. They're for sure struggling right now. They have some problems in experience. They are falling too far behind here. Lavakal actually pausing the game, so it could be that we have some... Oh no, actually we have Johanna dropping. I was about to say, it could be that it's just some problem with them running into additional ping problems or a higher ping. Sometimes teams have to just like wait that out a little bit. But they are closing in on level 10. They lose Jojo, so she's hopefully going to be able to come back. But for the Americans, they need to do something. They got everybody back up on the map, but they've now lost a fort. They are level behind. They haven't gotten a kill yet. Things are not looking too good for them. So once that Jojo is back, they can use the break now to maybe get a bit of a game plan going for themselves, because they gotta do something at the latest when they hit level 10 to try and turn this one around, because at this point in time, things are certainly looking grim. And we're back already, so Jojo came back within seconds, but maybe it was still enough time for the red team to go for a bit of a strategic discussion of what to do here. Because, yep, the Haka is now at the bottom of the map. And that's, by the way, one of the good news also for the team. With the Haka, you of course have a global, so there is no global on the red team side, on the blue team side. With the Haka for the Americans, they can maybe use him later to control the map when it's a little bit wide, when it's open up and the forts are down. Maybe even some keeps have been destroyed. So you can either defend or go on the attack. Jojo is currently still hiding her level 10. I don't really see her going for the falling sword here. It would be kind of funny if she did, but with the combination or the composition on the other side, I don't really think so. So Blessed Shield is what I would very much so expect, and that's exactly what she's going for. Blessed Shield in the house, and with that now the chance to start up with a stun, Uther to follow it up, and then of course Misha also coming in and trying to do the exact same thing. Now the attack over here shifts towards Uther, gets stunned into the wall for a moment, but Labekal is still totally fine, and Chromie continues to try and use them as target practice time and time again over here. As Maiev gets killed again, and Lucio is mega low. Is barely able to keep the rest of the team alive here too, but they're getting pummeled. 5 kills to 0 now. And at the top we now have Makto coming in. Misha is there as well, and Arion is already going for it. I mean, you see the side laner battle a little bit between them. Every single time that Yahaka made a move, Rexa comes in, hold my bear, and yeah, then tries to outplay him, but still. Push for the next fort here. Sylvanas can of course always help them with this one. But in the meantime, Arrow, oh, nice connect. Nice connect on Uther, and then the isolation from the Aka. Even the Tong connects properly. So that's now Uther gone and Jojo in serious trouble. Finally we're getting some kills here. Finally we have kills also for Hopium incoming. And this is exactly where they're gonna get that daily dose of Hopium, it seems. But they have abandoned the bot lane a bit, and this is now damaging the wall at the bottom of the map. So this could also lead to the first Garden Terror, because the red team wasn't lazy throughout all of this. They grabbed themselves the second seed, and this is going to be the third. So here's the ticket back into the game. We're going to get Garden Terrors for them, and now the chance to take some structures down. So let's see if they're actually able to make that work. Are they able to push in with these Garden Terrors and take some of those structures out, or how this is going to play out for them? In the middle, defense is already set up with Chromie and with Janna. Another lick by Dehaka. Absolutely on point as Diablo comes in from the top with a quick wall stun. But Diablo, he came, he saw, he died. Veni, Vidi, Vici. And they lost Maiev as well. Maiev now died 3 times. The topside fort got destroyed at least, but the defense at the bottom of the map was absolutely solid, and they were able to keep everything in play. Now what we're getting down at the bot lane is the last Garden Terror still trying to wreak some havoc. It's a single kill in this game for the red team. It's all that they got so far. 7 kills to 1. But not even an entire level lead of experience what we're getting here. So it's currently level, well, it's roughly a level 14 to 13 now. The Haka gets chased away. Top lane is still being defended by Rexa as he is making his moves there. And the red team is trying to rotate through the mercenary camps. But the Haka gets caught and swarmed. He has no chance here. No chance of survival. The Haka is dead. The dinosaur goes extinct once again. So yeah, that's him eliminated. And not really a good position for the red team to be in now. They are in a bit of an awkward spot, I gotta say. So what can they do here with the 4 versus 5 on the map? Probably not all that much, honestly, you know, talking about it. But if they can at least make sure that they don't lose any additional heroes, that would be nice. But Diablo is immediately in trouble. Lupus, and he's dead. Diablo is down. He gets eliminated. 9 kills to 1. The push at the top for Maiev is at least helping them maybe to take some structures out. So one tower may be gone. Mid fort, on the other hand, is now about to fall. So yeah, it's a little bit of a rough run for Hopium incoming. They're already down 1 game in the best of 3 series, and now they're struggling also in game number 2. They just can't get any kills here. It feels like the team fights are not going their way. They were able to grab the objective and at least in structures more or less catch up, but that's not going to be enough in the long run. They need more, especially as the death timers are increasing as the game continues. They are losing more and more ground here, so it is a bit of a tricky spot for them to be in right now. It's honestly really tricky. I mean, how do you play this out now? You are more than a level behind. You don't have level 16. You're starting to lose forts and therefore fountains, so it's much harder for you to fight in the middle of the map. And then on top of that, your opponent is just keeps pushing. And will likely, with a talent advantage, now pick up another seed for free, which we're already seeing here. And all of that is playing out as top left. I guess some siege giants. We're hoping to steal them away. Haven't spawned yet. They're basically hoping that somebody would show up here in order to defend against Maiev and that they can gank up on the target by luring them into a trap, and that didn't work. The blue team instead is just 5-manning at the bottom of the map and are trying to leverage Sylvanas, I suppose, in order to take some structures out. But that gives Maiev wiggle room at the top. So Hanzo nearly destroyed here. Jojo actually uses the blessed shield and gets the kill. Hanzo is down. Hanzo is gone, but maybe they outplayed themselves here. Maybe the Europeans just outplayed themselves a little bit because this keep is not looking good. There's the disc. Maiev tries to escape and is not making it. They're gonna get Maiev, but the keep is gone. So the first keep of the game gets taken out by Hopium incoming. So the Europeans, with definitely a bit of a misread of the situation, they are able to get that kill, and they're still heavily ahead, but losing that keep is a problem. And a big problem at that. So the keep is gone, and now, yeah, now they have to see if they can maybe grab the seed, since it is a 5 versus 4 in the first place, and then use the Garden Terrors in order to maybe break through and take a keep out as well. Yeah, they gotta do something. Taking some of the Siege Giants, also another step into the right direction. But you have to, of course, now start making a few moves. 10 more seconds until Maiev is back. You lost the keep. Top side, there's even a fort still standing on your opponent's lane. So that makes matters worse. So we got to do something with that. And that's exactly what we're now slowly getting to. Starting to move in here through the middle. Trying to break down the wall. Bot lane also gets pressured. In regards to damage, we currently have 33,000 for Chromie. 28,000 for Hanzo. And the attacks just continue with Maiev. She just came back. Apparently it's nice and warm in the Nexus because she wanted to go back and she got that wish granted. Chromie came in and took her out. And now, are they going for core again? I've seen this before. Game number 1 was very similar to this. They got one keep out and then they went straight for the core. This time it seems that they want to play it a bit safer than not making an immediate core play. There's 4 defenders still, so even for them that's a little bit too much. Instead, what we're getting is a move for the second keep at the bottom of the map. The Garden Terror at the top, still surviving for a bit longer here, but at the bottom it will cost the red team another keep. That's 2 keeps gone. Topside fort has been destroyed, as I already mentioned. The Garden Terror is marching through, and once again we have the Americans pinned down. The blue team, the Enjoyers, they are looking for level 20. It's half a level until they're going to get their next talent, their Storm talents. And that's obviously a reason to just siege up here. If you're that far ahead in experience, if you're that far ahead in talents as well, you can just siege up on your opponent and see if you can get some kills, go for core, take a final keep out, or how exactly you want to play it here. Red team, on the other hand, has to chase, and they're actually trying to chase before level 20 is ready, so the blue team doesn't have Storm talents yet, which means at this point it's still an even fight. And that's one of the reasons why they are definitely willing to battle. But there's still a fort in the middle, and the blue team uses it to tap the fountain real quickly and can now turn it on their opponents pretty easily, which is exactly what they're trying to do, especially since now they have level 20. So there it is finally. They go, or try to, for Dehaka, and he's gone. Dehaka is gone. Jojo got disked, but that's 13 kills to 1 now, and they're just looking way too good here. More than a level that has to be bridged before they get their own Storm talents, and this Enjoyers are just starting to siege up at the opponent's core. And for good reason. I mean, who's gonna stop them here? Dehaka gone, 5 versus 4, level 20 advantage. You can slowly poke down the shield from a distance and just keep applying pressure. Uther goes down, but he has redemption. Lucio and Hanzo are both eliminated, and that is likely going to be game. The core is already falling very quickly down to 50%, and with that we have a 2-0 victory for the Europeans. They're taking out Hopium incoming as they lock in a victory on Garden of Terror. Nicely done. GG, and well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.